And I was the man, not like that athlete you left, but a strong man, a hypnotist who had succeeded in stroking strength into your feeble muscles and filled your brain with new power. I revived you. I supplied you with friends. I provided you with a little court whom I tricked into admiring you. I set you above me in my home and painted you in my most beautiful pictures in rose. And as you were blue against a background of gold, and there wasn't an exhibit that you didn't have the best place. Sometimes you were St. Cecilia, sometimes you were Mary Stuart, Harriet Min's daughter, Eva Brahe, and I centered the interest in you, and I forced the hooting crowd to see you with my eyes. I forced your personality onto them. I forced them to accept you, until finally you had won the sympathy of the public and you could go ahead by yourself. When you were ready, my strength was gone. I collapsed from overexhaustion. I had raised you and crippled myself. I became ill, and my illness embarrassed you now that life had begun to smile on you. You were driven by a secret longing to dispose of the creditor and the witness. And your love became like the big sisters, and for want of anything better, I had to get used to my new role of little brother. You're still affectionate now, even more than ever, but it's tinged with a great sympathy, which includes quite a bit of condescension, which is turning into contempt. Now that my talent is setting and your sun is rising, be that as it may. Your spring too seems to be drying up, seeing as I can't replenish it. Or rather, when you want to show that you don't want to take anything from my spring, and so we both go under because you need somebody to claim a new one, and so I'm to be a scapegoat that's to be slaughtered alive. When you cut my tendons, you didn't realise that you were crippling yourself because the years have made us twins. You were an offshoot from my bush, but you wanted to free your shoot before it took root. You couldn't grow by yourself, and the bush couldn't do without its main stem, and so both died. All this, I take it, means that you have written my books. That's not what I said. That's what you want me to say to make me a liar, and I took for 5 minutes to give all the nuances and half-tones and transitions, but of course in your editor there's only one tone.
Yes, but the gist of all this is that you have written my books.
There isn't any gist. You can't reduce a chord into the number one. You can't translate a complex life into one tone, but of course I wouldn't say anything so stupid as to say I've written your books.
But that is what you meant.
I didn't mean that.
Yes, the total sum.
No, there isn't any total. There's no total where you don't add. It's a quotient, a long endless decimal number as quotient when you divide, and the result isn't even, and I haven't added.
Yes, I can.
I believe that, but I haven't added. I haven't wanted to. Stop. Just be quiet. Just go away. I'll have another attack. You're putting your claws in my thoughts, and you're tearing me to pieces.
What's wrong? You? Hey, off. Hey, off. Hey, off. Hey, off. Hey. Do you admit that you were wrong just now?
Yes, if I admit it.
And beg my forgiveness?
I beg your forgiveness just so you won't talk to me.
Kiss my hand then.
I kiss your hand just so you won't talk to me.
Now you're
Yes, I need it, and then we'll pack and leave.
No. Why? There must be a reason. Because I've promised to take you out and entertainment tonight.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's what it was. I promised to be there.
Promised you probably just said that you'd come. It doesn't stop me now from saying that you won't come.
No, I'm not like you. I keep my word.
Person can keep his word, he doesn't need to keep everything that he says. Is there somebody that made you promise that you would come?
Yes.
Good. Good, then you can ask to be released from your promise because your husband is ill.
No, and you're not so sick that you can't come along.
Why do you always need me to be with you? Does it make you feel less uneasy?
I don't understand what you mean.
That's what you always say when I mean something that you don't like.
Oh, what don't I like?
Stop rubbing it again. Be quiet and think about what you've done. Is it you?
It's I. Excuse me.
How did you get here?
By the highway, but I shan't stay since.
Stay by all means. Has been a long time.
It has been a long time.
You've changed a lot.
And you're as charming as ever. Almost more youthful. But forgive me, I shan't disturb your happiness by staying. If I had known you were here, I would never.
If you don't find it embarrassing, I beg you to stay.
As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't hinder it, but I'm thinking whatever I do say will hurt you.
Sit down for a while. You're not hurting me. You have the rare gift that you always had to be tactful and nice.
You do polite. But it isn't certain that your husband would be as forbearing about me as you are.
On the contrary, he was just now expressing a great deal of sympathy with you.
Really? Yes. I suppose everything disappears eventually, like carving one's names into a tree. Not even ill will can last forever.
You never had any ill will toward you, or has ever seen you. So far as I'm concerned, I've always dreamt about getting to see you two for a moment as friends. That you'd at least meet each other in my presence, that you'd shake hands and part.
Yes, I've had a secret longing too, to see the person I've loved more than life itself in really good hands. And I've certainly heard a great deal of good about him. I know all he has produced, but all the same, before I get too old, I'd like to press his hand, look into his eyes, and beg him to protect this treasure which destiny has placed in his possession. That's how I wanted to destroy the involuntary hatred I bear him, and I wanted peace and humility of mind, so I could live out my unhappy days.
You expressed my thoughts and you understood me, thank you.
Oh, I'm an insignificant person. And I was too insignificant to be able to overshadow you. My dull work, my narrow circle, my boring life weren't for your spirit, which longed for freedom. I admit it. But you understand, you delved into the human soul. What it has cost me to admit this to myself.
It is noble, it is great to be able to admit one's weaknesses. It's not everyone who can. You always were such a sincere, faithful, dependable person that I valued.
I wasn't then, but suffering purifies us, sorrow ennobles us, and I have suffered.
Cruel stuff. Can you forgive me? Can you?
What? Why, I'm the one who should beg for forgiveness.
Look at us old people that we are.
Oh, yes, I am old, but you get younger and younger.
Thanks, sir.
And you certainly know how to dress.
Oh, you taught me that. Don't you remember discovering what colours were to become you?
No?
Yeah. You don't remember? I even remember you became angry with me the days I wasn't wearing anything flaming red.
Surely I wasn't angry. I was never angry.
Oh yes, you were when you were going to teach me to think. Remember that? Because I couldn't think.
Of course you could, right? Everybody can. And now you're really sharp-witted. At least when you write.
Yes, darling, it's fun the same to see you again under such quiet circumstances.
Yes, well, I suppose I wasn't really an interesting person, and your life with me was rather quiet.
Yes, a little too quiet.
That's what I thought you wanted. At least that's what you said when we were engaged.
I didn't know what I wanted there. Mother told me I had to pretend.
Well, now everything's all right for you. Right, the life of an artist is brilliant, and your husband certainly doesn't appear to be any lazy bones.
Can't get too much of a good thing, too.
What? You're still wearing my earring.
Yes, why not? We've never been enemies, and I thought I'd wear it as a symbol and a reminder we aren't enemies. Besides, you know, you can't buy any like these anymore.
Yes, that's fine, but what does your husband say about it?
I don't care what he says.
You don't care? But you can hurt him by wearing them. You can make him ridiculous.
Is that already?
May I help you?
Thank you.
Yeah. Just think if your husband saw us.
When they'd be weeping.
Is he jealous?
Is he jealous? Yes, and so he is. Well, tell me about yourself and what you're doing.
Tell me about yourself. Who is it? It's you!
I don't think so.
But it looks like you!
That's what you think.
Everybody's thinking that story. How can Her Majesty see that?
You're too crazy. You know any new stories?
No. What you want to?
Can't hear any good ones anymore.
Is he bashful?
Oh yes, when he's talking.
Not otherwise.
He's very ill right now.
Poor fellow. But why should little brother go sniffing at other people's wasps' nests?
You're too crazy.
Do you remember when we were newly married and we lived in this room? Only the furniture was different. For example, there was a bureau by that pillar and the couch was there. Look at me.
I certainly can.
Do you think a person can forget what's made a strong impression on him?
No. The memories are powerful, especially the memories of you.
Do you remember when I first met you? You were a little lovable child, a slate on which your parents and your governess had made a few scratches which I had to erase. But then I wrote new lessons in my own spirit until you felt you were completely covered. That's why, you see, I wouldn't want to be in your husband's place. And that's his business. But that's why, you see, there's a certain pleasure in meeting you again. Our thoughts are alike, and sitting here talking with you is like opening an old bottle of wine of my own making. I get my wine, but it's mature. And now, when I'm getting married again, I've deliberately selected a young girl who I can bring up to suit myself. For you see, woman is man's child, and if she doesn't become his child, he becomes hers, and then the world is turned upside down.
Are you going to get married again?
Yes. I'm going to tempt fortune once more, only this time I'm going to pitch up better, so there won't be any trouble.
Is she beautiful?
To me, yes. Maybe I'm too old. Strange now. Chance has brought us together again, and I'm beginning to doubt whether I can play that game.
How so?
My roots are still left, I feel, in you. And the old wounds are reopening. You are a dangerous woman, Dana.
My young husband says I can't attract men anymore.
That's to say, he doesn't love you anymore.
What do you mean if I love? I don't understand.
played hide and seek so long that you can't catch each other. That does happen. You've had to play innocent so that he doesn't dare. Yes, you see, changing has its inconveniences. It has its inconveniences.
You're approaching.
Not at all. What happened, happened out of necessity, because if it doesn't happen, something else does. What happened, happened.
You are broad-minded. When we met anyone else with whom I'd rather exchange ideas. You're so free from moral scruples and moralizing. Demand something from people that I feel free in your presence. Now I'm jealous of the girl you're going to marry.
I'm jealous of your husband.
And now we're going to part. Forever.
Yes. Yes, we're going to part, but not without a real farewell. Isn't that right?
No.
Yes! Yes! Look, I'm nervous. Get an ecstasy so thick that when we wake up, we'll run out and experience an ecstasy like that. Never be down by a sickly spirit who is infecting you with his consumption of new life into you. I will make you bloom in the fall as an ever-blooming rose of travels.
Leave me, I'm afraid of you.
Why?
You're taking my soul!
I'm giving you mine in return. So far as that's concerned, you haven't any soul. That's only an illusion.
You have a way of saying polite things so that I don't get angry with you.
It's because you know I held the first mortgage. Tell me. When and where?
No, I pity him. He still loves me. I don't want to do it anymore.
I love you. To our proof.
How did you get any?
You see it yourself?
It's disgraceful.
There, you see for yourself. Now when?
Oh, scoundrel.
When?
I'm leaving on the 8 o'clock boat tonight. So 9 o'clock. You're standing there and making all that noise!
The chair has been knocked over and the water pitcher broken, nothing else. Maybe someone knocked out the dog. 9 o'clock then.
Right. Let it blame himself. She's been such duplicity, and from he who has preached honesty and has told me to tell the truth. Just a minute. How was it? He was almost unfriendly when I came in. Didn't come down to the dock to greet me, and then he went on about the young fellows on the steamer, which I pretended I didn't understand, but how could he know that? Just a minute. And then he philosophized about women, and you were haunting him, and he was going to be a sculptor. Because that's the art of today. Exactly as you reasoned it out in the old days.
No, really.
No, really. Now I understand. Now I'm beginning to understand what a terrible scoundrel you are. You've been here and torn into pieces. You're the one who'd been sitting on that couch making believe he had epilepsy, that he should live in celibacy, that he should show he was a man and revolt against his wife. So it was you.
It was I.
On the steamer? And you thought you'd trap me?
I remember that.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You stole up on my land like a wolf. You had a damnable plan to destroy my happiness. You said it going, but I opened my eyes and destroyed it.
What you're saying isn't exactly right. Here's what it really was. That the two of you weren't going to work out well together was my secret wish, actually. But I was almost certain that I wouldn't have to interfere. Besides, you see, I had so many other things to take care of that I didn't have any time left for steaming. But when I saw you with the young fellows on the steamer, I felt the time for looking at you two was right. I came here, and your lamb threw himself into the arms of the wolf immediately. I aroused his suspicion, used some reflex. I don't want to be impolite enough to try and explain and sympathize with you. But he was in the same predicament I had once been in. Then he began poking at my old wound with the book, you know, and the idiot. And then I wanted to rip it into pieces and mix up the pieces so it would never be put together again. Then I had you left. You were the spring in the instrument and it screwed apart. Then there was Harriet. When I came in, I didn't really know what I was going to say. Of course, like a chess player, I had a lot of plans. And how I was going to play depended on your moves. And then went to another chance help, and there I had you. Now you were caught. Yes, what you wanted, least of all, has happened. The public, represented by two women, whom I had to send for because I'm no schemer, the public has seen how you become reconciled with your former husband, and repentant crept back into his faithful embrace. Is that enough?
It should be for your revenge, but tell me, you, who are so broad-minded and constant in thinking, how did it happen that everything that happens of necessity, and that none of our actions is free?
To a certain extent, is not.
That's the same thing. How can you consider me innocent since my nature and circumstances drove me to act as I did? How do you think you can have the right to get revenge?
Well, on the same grounds, and on the grounds that my nature and circumstances drove me to get revenge. Isn't it a time? Do you want to know what you do? You draw the shorter straw in a struggle like you let yourselves be fooled? Because I was the stronger than you, and the wiser. You were the idiot, and he. You see, a person doesn't have to be an idiot just because he doesn't write novels or paint. Remember that.
You are absolutely without feelings, aren't you?
Absolutely. But that's why I can think, which you've never rarely done, and act, which you just found out. It's not only that, quit hurting other people's self-respect. That's a person's most vulnerable point.
Vengeful wretch, shame on you!
Oh, come on, Reg, shame on you.
It's my nature, eh?
It's my nature, eh? You better start looking at other people's natures before you let your own express itself so freely, because then there can be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
You can never forgive!
Of course. Even you. I lifted my hand against you all these years. No, I came only to look at you and you cracked. I reproached you, moralized, preached. No. I joked a little bit with your husband, and that was enough to make him burst. But I'm standing here as the plaintiff defending himself. Tekla, haven't you anything for which you should reproach yourself?
Nothing at all. Christians say it's destiny that controls our actions. Others call it fate. Aren't we innocent?
Yes, to a certain extent. But there is a margin of responsibility all the same, and the creditors appear sooner or later. Innocent, but responsible. Innocent before him who doesn't exist, and responsible before oneself and before one's fellow man.
So you came to dun me then?
I came to take back what you had stolen, and not what you had received as gifts. You had stolen my honor, and I could get that back only by taking yours. Wasn't I right?
Honor. Now you're satisfied?
Now I'm satisfied.
And now you're going to your fiancé.
I don't have one. I don't want one. I don't have one, and I don't want any. Please get my bill. I think you're getting fucked by it.
Without any reconciliation.
Reconciliation. You use so many words that have lost their meanings. Reconciliation. We live together, all three. You are the one who should atone for making up for all of this. You've only taken, and what you've taken, you've absorbed, so you can't return it.
Will you be satisfied if I say, forgive me for you having broken my heart?